Cobalion not one to get hit with another Blast Burn is going to throw its energy. They might be thinking they're still fighting type of means. They only take neutral from Psystrike. Well, surprise, we've got Flamethrower, but is Flamethrower enough to knock out? Well, you're going to have to watch the video to find out. So welcome back to the home of Shadow Pokemon. My good friend Ty, aka Hakwa, is back at it once again. And my god, does he have a spicy battle submission. We have got Shadow Mewtwo in the Ultra League. As if running Mewtwo in the Ultra League wasn't spicy enough, we have got an incredibly crazy moveset. He's going to be using it as a safe switch, and we are using Confusion as the fast move for that oppressive fast move damage, with Thunderbolt and Flamethrower as the charge move. Both of these cost 55 energy for 90 damage, so you already know they're going to hit like a truck, and they both take 5 confusions to reach. So without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, we pick up a lead against Obstagoon. Charizard is resisting counter, but being an absolute glass cannon, it isn't actually the best matchup against Obstagoon. Obstagoon gets the boost. We pivot out into Gyarados to soak the next Night Slash, and that does almost 50% of our HP. This super annoying pest named Obstagoon is already at the next charge move. Ty is forced to commit a shield back. We're now in the 1-to-1 shield. He is going to overfarm. Throw the Aqua Tail. This will be knocking out or drawing the opponent's final shield. The opponent decides to commit all in on Obstagoon. People who get the boost love to shield their goon, but this opponent is going to be sad as Gyarados still manages to take him out. The opponent is now all shields down. They enter the battlefield with the Snorlax. Snorlax has no shields remaining. Ty comes in, overfarms, and he is going for that big fat blast burn. Unshielded Snorlax takes massive damage. The opponent looking to commit to their lick farm down, and Charizard says, I'm not done. Ty fires off the Dragon Claw. We don't quite manage to take him out. We come in with Mewtwo looking for the snipe. We don't make the snipe, but that confusion that you saw go through will be knocking out, and the opponent has Drifblim in the back. And oh my god, you already know it's going to be high Drifblim by Drifblim. The opponent goes for the Icy Wind, which does lower our attack, but Mewtwo doesn't care. We've got the Thunderbolt locked and loaded, and it's going to be Night Night Sleep type Balloon. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next one, we see the battle of the fire types. Our subtyping of flying on Charizard means we have a very advantageous matchup against Blaziken's fighting typing. The opponent makes a retreat into Cresselia, and Ty goes straight for the hard-hitting Blast Burn. The super bulky Cresselia is already down to around 40% HP. Ty then catches the Moonblast on his Gyarados. He overfarms, fires off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail will either be maintaining alignment or grabbing a shield. The opponent lets it go. They come in with Blaziken. Can we make the Aqua Tail? No, we can't. Blaziken manages to farm down just as we're at the move, and holy smokes, Mewtwo comes in, ripping apart Blaziken with these confusion. Ty commits his first shield on the Blaze Kick, and it is Togekiss in the back. Charm gonna be tearing us apart, but we've got the Thunderbolt locked and loaded. Togekiss shits its pants, shielding up, and it's now all down to Charizard. Ty looking to close. He is going to be forced to shield up the Ancient Power. The opponent still has one shield remaining, but Ty not baiting, going straight for the Blast Burn. Does the opponent want to shield? They do not. They're putting it all on Blaziken, but Charizard just farms down, and that is all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Charizard into Cobalion, a very interesting matchup where both Pokemon have the potential to one-shot each other. Stone Edge, double super effective, would knock out around 200 Charizard. Blast Burn, an absolute nuke machine, would return Cobalion back to its Pokeball. So far, we're seeing the battle of the master baiters. Ty has already baited the Dragon Claw once, now twice the opponent has baited the Sacred Sword. Ty commits his final shield, and the opponent also baits for a second time. However, Charizard, far too spammy. Ty says, you can masturbate, but I masturbate better. Blast Burn one-shots Cobalion. It's all shields down, and the opponent enters the field with Gliscor. Gliscor is going to go for the Night Slash. Night Slash with non-stab isn't going to knock out. Ty is going to be able to make one more Blast Burn. The opponent pivots out into Cresselia. Cresselia also not going to appreciate the Blast Burn. Blast Burn lands for massive damage, and Ty now pivots out into his Mewtwo. I really like this play, as Mewtwo is kind of dead weight. Gyarados is going to be the key to victory. Mewtwo being used as a damage sponge, and evidently not the best damage sponge. Moonblast near one shots. The opponent couldn't resist his Psycho Cut. Farm us down as they fire off the Grass Knot. Ty now enters with the Gary. We are going to have to tank a charge move. Grass Knot does around 50% of our HP, but the Aqua Tails are going to hit. For super effective, Tai is actually going for the crunch. Crunch is neutral. It does hit slightly harder, but the stab Aqua Tail would have been the play, but Tai doesn't care. He goes for the wham bam combo play, firing off the Dragon Claw. Gliscor survives. Holy smokes, are we going to lose this game? Gliscor has the Night Slash locked and loaded. Can we survive? Yes, we can. Who was worried? Not Tai, just me. GG's. Moving on to the next one. We see Charizard into Dragonite. Dragon Claw will be hitting for super effective. However, the neutral Dragon Breaths are ripping apart Charizard. We fire off the Dragon Claw, draw an early shield, we make a pivot out into Gyarados. Holy smokes, the opponent takes just 2 Dragon Tails and it does massive damage. They now answer with the Walrus, but Gyarados has the crunch locked and loaded, and Walrein now already down below 50% HP. The opponent is going to fire off the Icicle Sphere. Gyarados is going to hang on with 1 HP and a Dream. The next Powder Snow is going to knock out, so Tai settles for some chip damage with the Aqua Tail. Tai not waiting out his time, he aggressively comes in to his Mewtwo. We are going to shield up the Icicle Sphere. Confusion Farm all the way down. The opponent sends back out Dragonite with the Dragon Claw locked and loaded, and Tai has chose to double shield his Mewtwo. The opponent makes one more Dragon Claw. Not the best move, but holy smokes, we don't tank that all that well. We've got the charge move locked and loaded. We've banked it for later. Tai pivots out into his Charizard, and it is Cobalion in the back. Holy smokes, the opponent isn't ready. We go for the Blast Burn. Blast Burn draws the opponent's final shield. Stone Edge will be taking care of Charizard. The opponent goes for the Sacred Sword, looking to save energy, but that isn't enough to cut it. They throw one more Sacred Sword. The opponent probably thinking they're in a good spot, as Psystrike would only be neutral, but we've got Flamethrower. Is Flamethrower enough to knock out? Of fucking course it is. It's Shadow Mewtwo. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see the core breaker of all core breakers, Ampharos, in the lead. I think Tai is about to get absolutely massacred, as both Charizard and Gyarados are weak to electric, and the new coverage move of Brutal Swing will be one-shotting the squishy Mewtwo. We pivot out into Mewtwo. They answer with Walrein. We survive on 1 HP and a Dream. Return fire with the Thunderbolt. We have got at least shield advantage, but I've got no idea how Tai is planning to get rid of this Ampharos. Let's see if he manages to pull off a miracle. We tank the Icicle Sphere on our Charizard. We overfarm. Do we fire the Blast Burn off on CMP? No, we don't. It looks like Tai is trying to get to 100 energy. He shields up the Icicle Sphere. It looks like Walrein still isn't in Dragon Claw range. A great recognition from Tai, realising he has to Blast Burn. Blast Burn does take care of Walrein. We've got the second Blast Burn locked and loaded. Please no shield, opponent. They do shield, and Tai says fuck this and quits the match. Moving on to the next one. We see the Shadow Charizard Mirror. So despite Blast Burn being resisted, that is the move that you want to land. The opponent throws on 6. This is only a Dragon Claw. Tai tanks it, no problem, and returns fire with the correct move. Does the opponent respect the damage? They actually make a great catch, catching it on Drapion. Well, I say a great catch. Holy smokes, that did a lot of damage. Tai then shows his great counting skills. Stay in school, kids. Learn to count his 4 poison stings to the Aqua Tail, and Tai made an absolute savage catch. The opponent on minimal HP makes a crunch. Gyarados, not committing any shields, does survive. The opponent gets the defense drop. They now come in to Trevenant, and Trevenant has to shield up the crunch. We have got shield advantage, but this Trevenant is going to be a problem. Tai sends back out his Charizard, fires off the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw draws the final shield. Tai looking to switch out. We get Shadow Clawed farmed all the way down, and it's now Mewtwo versus the world. I imagine the opponent is just going to spam out Seed Bomb after Seed Bomb. They actually full send a Shadow Ball. Holy smokes, opponent, what are you doing? Seed Bomb is more than enough for a Shadow Mewtwo. They full send a second Shadow Ball. They get Confusion farmed all the way down, and then send out the sitting duck called Charizard to eat the Thunderbolt. And that is a good game. Holy smokes, very interesting endgame there. Moving on to the next one. We see Charizard into Obscure, despite us hitting for neutral and the opponent's counters hitting for resisted. This is actually a loss in the zero shield. The opponent fires off the Night Slash. That does big damage. Tai going for the Dragon Claw bait. Does the opponent want to commit a shield? Yes, they do. We actually now make a great pivot, catching the second Night Slash on our Gyarados. The opponent now answers with Articuno, a very underused pick, but pretty good. It is a Pokemon that I've used and one of my favourite content creators, Oxford U, used to use. Shout out Oxford U. You need to make a return to YouTube. I'm just going to keep spamming you with battle submissions until you finally make your glorious return. But getting back into this battle, Gyarados manages to take care of the Articuno. The opponent tries to counter, farm down our flyer, and we make the last second Aqua Tail, putting Obstagoon deep into the red. Tai looks to snipe with a double resisted confusion. We get denied. Niantic, fix your game. We're forced to commit a shield on the Night Slash, and it's the Kentucky Fried Chicken Bird of Death in the back. Talonflame gonna fire off a charge move. Tai is gonna shield up the flame charge. He's gonna bank a move, switch out into Charizard. He fires off the Dragon Claw just before the opponent gets to the next flame charge. The opponent commits the final shield. Tai throws 2 more wing attacks, and the Dragon Claw is going to be taking care of Talonflame. Obstagoon, even if they manage to counter us down, which they don't, was about to get vanquished to its Pokeball with the 1 HP boom from Mewtwo. Very nicely done from Tai. Moving on to the next one. We see Charizard into Swampert and stay in school, kids. Learn to count his 5 mud shots, then 4 to each Hydro Cannon, and Tai's counting is immaculate. We catch it on Gyarados, and the opponent makes one of the most questionable switches I've ever seen, bringing in Incineroar to answer Gyarados. Tai says, if this is your best response, I'll commit a shield. Tai shields up the Dark Pulse, commits to the Dragon Tail farm down. We've now flipped switch, and we've got a pretty healthy Gary with some residual energy. The opponent's final Pokemon is Charizard. Holy smokes, triple weak to Gyarados. You love to see it. We fire off the Aqua Tail, which draws a shield from the opponent. The opponent looks to farm down, so Tai wham bam combo plays, fires off the Dragon Claw at this Charizard, and Charizard commits its final shield. Tai no interest in shielding up Charizard. The opponent goes for a Dragon Claw. We now return fire with a Dragon Claw of our own. Is this going to be enough to knock out the opposing Charizard? Yes, it is. Swampert returns to the battlefield. Tai is going to allow Charizard to go down. Hydro Cannon obviously one-shotting Charizard, and now it's time for Mewtwo to shine. Mewtwo is going to have to shield up the Hydro Cannon. It's going to be a race. Can we outpace? To the next Hydro Cannon, Tai throws 2 confusions and makes a savage catch for no reason whatsoever. Mewtwo would win CMP, but why not flex when you get the opportunity? And he's now going for a BM Flamethrower to return Swampert to its Pokeball. GG's, and thanks for playing. As always, Tai, the king of entertainment. Huge thank you for the battle submission. I'm sure you can all tell I haven't recovered from my cold, and my voice is really struggling now. We're at the end of the video, but if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you'd like your battles featured on the channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below. I'd just like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.